say butterflies. Welcome back to Alchemy Doctress with me, Doctress Monica Nicole. Here we are all about evolving out loud in our life, our money, and our purpose through the energy of our ancestors. I want to thank you for your likes, your comments, your shares, and your subscribes on the channel. And a major shout out to the members here on the channels, as well as the members of the Butterfly Effect School of Transformation. Hey, y'all. Hey. So we are back with another video. And this video, you all, so I had a dream, a very vivid dream. And Spirit said to share it and the interpretation of it, because some people here will resonate with the dream. Trigger warning, as you see inside of, I'm going to make sure to put it inside of the title, because it is a trigger warning incident that's happening, okay? So, but it's like the trigger warning and the reflection of the dream, they're not the same energy. Put it that way, okay? So, I was preparing to go to an old college, one of my alma maters, to speak and for a conference. And so, got all my stuff together, you know, me as the main character. Got all, you know, my stuff together and, you know, got to the college. There was a hotel inside of the college. So I checked into a room inside of the hotel inside the college. And it's like, it was, now the college in the dream was different from the college in real life. That was in the dream, you know, the name of it basically, because the real college doesn't have a hotel literally inside of it. Okay. It has dorm rooms, but it doesn't have like a hotel. And so get checked in and I, you know, just start walking around and stuff, just like observing. And, you know, I see the food court, I see the people, everyone just out gathering, enjoying themselves. And I come across a room where my ex is at. And my ex is, you know, in the room and I'm just like, what you doing here? And he's like, oh, you know what I'm saying? I just came down here to something. I don't even remember what he said he came down there for. And I was like, okay. And so at this time, the energy was like, I'm done with him, but in a way, it's kind of like, I might have to see what's up with that. So I continue along, observing the space. And so I go back to the conference and everything goes well. Speaking goes well. And I tell them I need to leave. So I leave and I'm trying to see which part came first because a lot of stuff started happening at this point. So I left and I saw this big family reunion happening. They were like preparing to take a picture. And I remember looking at them and I was just like, oh, that's so beautiful. That is so, you know, cute. And then I'm walking and I see an old boss walking with their new boss. And I remember thinking, interesting. Then I come to like this obstacle course. And at this obstacle course, the people that I'm with is a mixture of old friends from high school to new acquaintances now. The new acquaintances, so basically this little thing that we had to do in order to keep going, we had to jump up onto this like platform, right? But it's hard to get up there. So someone had to help you get up there. The platform is about the width of, well, it's hard for y'all to see, but it's not my whole arm width. So basically if you're walking on it, you know, any wobbling or movement, you may fall. So one of my newer friends, they got on it and, you know, they got up and then the next person got up and then that person helped me up. Now them two, they kept going and they went down the slide and everything. And it turned into a slide and everything, right? And they were just like, yay. So then I pulled the next person up Okay. And then they go to pull the next one up, and the one who I pulled up fell. They fell down like, ah. And so they had to get back up and try again. Because basically, if you're pulling someone up, if you don't have your balance, you can go overboard from the momentum of what you were using to pull them up. Because once they get up, you're going to bounce off the wall and then you bounce back if you don't have that, you know what I'm saying, balance in your body. And so after me was like older friends and things of that nature. And so people were pulling each other up, right? And so we were getting up, and so we walk on the plank and we get through. We walk through some corridors and stuff, all that jazz. Now we're outside, and I see someone that I remember they're from the city that this college is in, but I remember them from somewhere else, like where we like knew each other. And they were picking up trash and stuff. And so they were just being goofy and stuff. And I was just like, oh, hey, like da da da. And they were going around picking up trash and stuff. And so I look over to my left. And there's this cat. And it has this beautiful pink colored hair and paws. And it's like a grayish silver in the rest of the fur. Then it has like a cute, collar with the pink and gray and stuff. And I was just like, I ain't never seen a pink cat. And all of a sudden, a mass shooter appears. So me and my friends, we running, we booking, we getting up out of there, okay? And by this time, it's starting to turn nighttime. So I had my purse and all that. Me and my friends, we get away, we get far away, and we realized we were like downstairs, and we realized we needed something that was upstairs in the room, in my room. And by this time where we were at, it was still quiet over there now because we got away somehow. Because where we heard the shooting, it wasn't like immediately where we were at. And so as we're, running, so basically everyone on the campus doesn't know that this is happening yet because it just started happening. And I remember, I keep my blicky in the purse or whatever. So I'm just like, let me make sure I got my blicky before we go up here, da 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 da. And I feel it, and I noticed that the magazine is not in my blicky. And that's interesting because you're not supposed to have weapons on the campus anyway. But the fact that at the time when I needed it, my magazine wasn't inside of it. And so I could have looked through my purse and stuff to find it, but we didn't have time. So we had to go up these stairs to get upstairs. And as we got upstairs, we walked past, it was like a lounge of people and stuff. And we were like, hey, y'all, is some stuff going on, like, we think it's like, shooter, da 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 da, right? And we're like, be quiet, like, So walking to get to my room, and I walked past my ex. And in this moment, I was really desiring him. While all this other chaos is going on, I'm desiring him. And he's laying there like in the middle of a room, and there's 3 young women, okay? Probably barely 18. And he's laying back, and he's like, y'all want to see it? Like he's pulling his pants up, asking if they want to see his stuff. Y'all, this was like, wow, spirit. So I'm up here like, y'all get away. And I'm sitting here like, no, you don't need to be showing none of this stuff. This is supposed to be only for me anyway. Da 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 da, right? And then I had to remember, Monica, you came up here to get something. You ain't got time to deal with this. So I was like, you know what? Forget it. And I left. And I went to go get my stuff. I made it to my room, got my stuff. And the cop, I forgot to tell y'all, a cop ended up coming up when we were going upstairs. And so it ended up just being me and the cop that was going upstairs. So the cop is escorting with me. We get to my room. We get what I need to get. And we run back to get to the elevator this time, not the stairs. And so we're like, all right, y'all be good, y'all be safe. And we get on the elevator, okay? And you know, as the elevators are closing, if someone kind of comes in, it opens up again. So a third person, a man, ran onto the elevator and it made the elevator open up. And my spirit said, hurry up and close it, hurry up and close it. So I pressed the close button. Y'all know the close button on the elevator, right? Press the close button. As soon as the close button and the elevator closed, the mass shooter, it got to where we just were at. And as we're going down the elevator, I'm hearing the people scream. And cry out. And it hurt me so bad. Just still feeling the hurt from that dream. So we go down the elevator to get downstairs. And as soon as we get off, I woke up. Now, all the people who were on the top levels of the school in this dream were people from like my past. People from the past. The people who were already outside that I got away with before I went back, they're all from the new. These were the new people. A school is a place that's meant to be for learning. It's a place that's meant for higher achievement, right? So being called into this space in the upper level, the upper consciousness, and being called to come speak and teach at a conference, it's like people or things from that nature from your past seeing what you're doing and them asking you to come and share that knowledge with them, or you wanting to just go back and share your knowledge with them because you have it and they're there, okay? Because I don't know how I became a speaker. I just know I had to speak there. And the thing is that with conferences, some speakers, you know, you have to submit a proposal to speak. So you're not asked, you asked to come speak, okay? So this very well could be a part of the interpretation of oftentimes when we gain new knowledge and new information, we want to run back and hurry up and try to like teach it to everyone else and force it down their throat. And they don't want to hear that. And I talk about that in my spiritual leadership class, part 1. Very good class, very good class. And so the X being present and all the familiar people being present represented the pieces in the conscious mind that we carry with us from the past oftentimes, right? Because remember, I went back after, because remember, we got away once we noticed seeing the shooter come. That was giving a notice that the old mindset, the old conscious mindset, it was no longer applicable. It was no longer applicable to my life, what I'm doing, and I need to get out of there. Okay? I'm doing too much and I'm exposed right now. Just exposed just energetically, right? And so going back is representative of how, because remember we were downstairs. Downstairs is the subconscious. That's where the reprogramming happens and all of that jazz, right? And so when we went back, it's the sense of taking what we've learned from being down there, because remember it was dark now at this time, taking what we've learned from being down there, the subconscious, and trying to take it back to the old life. And in that, now that we have this new knowledge, we're able to see people for who they are, because the X was able to hide that side of himself until after I had to go down. I was downstairs hitting away and I had to go back. And then now I see them for who they are. And I realize I have to leave this. I don't have time to try to help you get through this or be your ride or die. There's danger approaching. There's danger approaching. So, escaping on the elevator in the nick of time is representative of sometimes we don't learn a lesson or get something until like the last minute. And it's also representative of being saved by the bell. But what the whole dream represented at the end, when being on the elevator and as soon as reaching the bottom, waking up, the bottom is the root chakra. It's balance. It's your foundation. It's where you defeat fear. It's where you become stable. So similar to Maslow's hierarchy of needs. I have a class on that too, that compares the both and how they connect and all that jazz. And all of that is in the Butterfly Effect School of Transformation, if y'all were wondering. But so once you reach the place and you realize just because you've grown and evolved doesn't mean that everyone else around you has grown and evolved. Just because you've gotten a lesson in the message doesn't mean that everyone else around you got it. And in this new life, there's new people, there's new characters. Your old self, it can't survive where your new self is at, where your new energy is at. Your old self doesn't have the capability. It doesn't have, it's not able to be compatible. So like, you know how there's different pieces of technology and stuff, right? And it has to be compatible with, you know, so like headphones and things of that nature, right? A lot of things from your past is no longer compatible with you. And you're no longer compatible with it. You're no longer compatible with it. And you have to be okay with that. Because going back can be dangerous. And sometimes we do go back. And then you go back and you realize, wow, I got out right in the nick of time. Got out in the nick of time. Our energy is currency, right? So if we're spending our time going back to the past, we're giving our energy and our currency, because that energy that we spend to climb up them stairs and go back, and then to have to try to still escape. Watch how that energy is given and in what way. So for example, you know, I've had people ask me like, you know, why won't I say the names of people when I bring up their situation in certain conversations, right? And the purpose for that is because energy is currency, okay? The purpose of me sharing it is the message and the lesson and not the person. Me mentioning the person, you know how they say all publicity is good publicity? Because what would have happened was if that person wasn't already in someone's algorithm, they would have went and searched their name up. They would have went and searched them up. They would have been looking all at their stuff, getting them paid by doing that. Okay? It's not needed. It's not important. I think it's only like one person I've name dropped a name on, because I don't mind people looking that person up, right? But we have to realize that attention is currency. And so me just mentioning that person's name or people's name, it would have made people start researching and looking them up, and their whole algorithm would have been shifted. The goal is to keep our energy in a space where we're focused on the expansion of it, and I don't want to be responsible for the shift of an algorithm in that sense, I guess you could say. So that's why I don't. Is more so, excuse me, I want people to focus on the message more than the name and like what happened. You get what I'm saying? I understand humans are very curious. Very curious, and our curiosity, where they say curiosity killed the cat, sometimes our curiosity be our downfall. And so this energy from this dream, let me make sure I'm not missing anything, because I wrote some notes to myself, child. Well, I guess we have to take control. Ooh. Oh, I want to go back to talk about the aspect of the cat. The fact of seeing that pink and grayish cat before seeing everything happen, 2222 on the time. You know, they say cats represent like wisdom, feminine energy. They're very efficient with how they move, calculated, agile. The fact that I saw that cat right before the shooting started, it showed the aspect of the importance of using wisdom and knowing when to get out of a situation and how to get out of a situation. As soon as you realize that your subconscious is under attack, or your mind is under attack, or someone is attempting to trigger you, cause a problem, get out of there. That's what that represented. The mass shooter was just representing the energy and the things that seek to pull you back to an old place so that you can't reach the shifts that you're working to reach. Your intuition has gotten you out of some things in the nick of time. It has gotten you out of some things in the nick of time. So just keep listening to it the first time. Don't question when things have to end. You know, some things are an accident, but some things it really just has to end, you know. But this dream, it was meant to be a reminder / warning to the collective that you're not responsible for everyone's growth. Be aware of your surroundings and the people you're around. And are they truly in alignment? Where am I? Are they truly in alignment with you? Embrace your evolving self, your evolving identity. Keep shifting that subconscious. As you shift yourself, others shift around you. People shift around you. Your environment shifts. Your attention is going to shift. Then we talk about discipline last night in the night out. I put it inside of the chrysalis area because of I wanted to play music. So, but that is the message. That dream was very vivid, very vivid. And the only color I can tell you that I remember seeing was the pink with the cat. I saw some red too. I saw some red too. I saw red when I saw the old boss was wearing red. So pink and red. Red is passion, action, and the root chakra. Oh my gosh. You remember the video ended, well, not video, the dream ended with the elevator reaching the bottom with the cop. Cops are meant to protect, right? You know, whether they do that or not, that's what their role is, to protect, right? To be aware, to support. So with support, reaching a balanced root chakra, and that pink is a secondary color for your heart chakra. But I feel like that pink represented in a lot of ways softness, femininity, and like friendship type of love, you know. Red is typically like romantic love. Pink is like an innocent friendship, family member type of love, you know, but it's very feminine. It also represents feminine energy. So your wisdom, connecting with that feminine, you know how we've been talking a lot about how the ancestors have been sharing that, you know, feminine energy, like the return of the divine feminine is happening right now. And with that, after seeing that cat being guided to, you know what I'm saying, run and get away, because immediately we started hearing the what's the name, it's like heeding to the warnings, heeding to the knowledge, heeding to the information. Like, I would listen to this if I was you. So I love to hear from you all down below. You know, the elevator represents going down into your subconscious, you know, going deep down into yourself. This is, yeah. Um, yeah, we about to, let me go on and get out of here now. I didn't even make breakfast yet. I was like, I didn't took a nice, had to take a nice long bath because y'all, my body, I hurt myself yesterday, in pole. And so I have like this, not pole, but hoop. So I have this big ass bruise behind my knee. And so I had to take a long Epsom salt bath and stuff, with some menthol and stuff this morning. And it helped a little bit. And so I got to get to the gym in a couple hours. So I'm about to make some breakfast. But I thank you all for being here. Let me know your all's thoughts down below. What have your recent dreams been about? And as always, always be real, always be true. Don't be afraid to do what your higher self and your spirit team is calling for you to do. Period. I love y'all, and I'm going to see y'all later. Bye.